Hi, everyone. Welcome to our first Dream Team Chat of May. We are so excited that you're here. And especially this month, we've got a really fun little, oh shoot. We have a really fun theme that we're that we're going over this month in our team and stuff. And we're really focusing on the childlike wonder, which I just explained and talked about with the team prior to this recording. But I'm not going to go over it again. Tonight, our focus is on the idea of Scentsy being a problem solving business and how we move about our specific independent businesses with that in mind. Okay. And so here's the thing. Scentsy is a business that is based off of this notion that we want to add fragrance and warmth to the world. Okay. And so we do that by selling these products like wax and warmers. And we have a whole other variety of products, right? Cleaning and kids products and laundry and on the go fragrance and all of these different areas and niches that we can dive into. And we have amazing partnerships with Disney and Marvel and Warner Brothers and just this collection of people and communities that we're tied to now, licenses that we're tied to.
So true.
And this idea of us stepping in as the middle person and introducing solutions to people's problems, we want to just spend this time to remind you what that can look like. And of course, how we can implement it by having that childlike wonder that we've discussed. But truly adding value to the community in which you reside in is the point here, because when you add value and when you are solving problems with your customers or to people that you are spending time with, whether that's having joint conversations, your host, your team, whatever, when you are solving problems with them, when you are providing solutions for them, you add tremendous value. And that's kind of the focus for tonight, is that idea. Okay. And so we're going to go through some examples of what that looks like in your business as a consultant to your customers, but then also how you can be a problem solver when you are offering the opportunity to people. Okay. And this is, like I said, this is just so important, because if we get back to this simple idea, if you step into your business with this in mind, right, this is your goal, to solve people's problems, I think it will change your perception on how you view joint conversations, how you view selling the products. And it's also in turn going to change how people view Scentsy and how people view your business, because they're going to say, oh my gosh, yeah, I do have a problem with stinky kids, or I do have a problem with my laundry detergent. Oh yeah. Okay, so Scentsy can be the solution, right? And sprinkling in that joy that we have in our business, that childlike wonder, is just going to attract people to it. Okay. And so just across the board in general, you guys, our products are designed to solve people's problems, right? We live in a world where we are constantly using things um to provide solutions for different problems that we have on a day-to-day basis,
Yeah.
right? So for instance, when we're in the car, we want it to smell good in the car, right? We don't want people to get into our car and be like, oh my God, it smells like something died in here 2 days ago. Like, what is going on? We want our homes to smell good. Alex had said earlier that scent and fragrance is it's a huge draw. It's an experience that people create. It's an experience that people have when they smell something. It's one of the most powerful senses that we have. And so we're tapping into that with the products that we are offering people. And so when you view using our on the go products or using our wax and warmers as a solution to people wanting a house that smells really good, right? And think about the people who have people over all the time, right? Think about the people who are inviting people into their home. Think about the people who are traveling for work. Think about the people who are carpooling or have young children or have kids of any age, those areas in their life where fragrance, I think fragrance is super important, but I also, what we were talking about earlier is that, like, some of these things, and maybe you've experienced this in your communities, where fragrance is like wax and warmers can be considered like a luxury, right? Where it's something that, sure, people want their homes to smell good, but maybe it's not a necessity, right? It's not I'm not going to spend my money on this warmer and this wax for my house to smell good. I'll just like spray some Febreze and, like call it good. And so our job as the middleman, as the consultant, as the face for this business to your customers and your community is to tell people, to tell a story about why this fragrance is different and why this fragrance is valuable to them and worth the money, right? And it's not enough to just throw it up and be like, Scentsy's non-toxic, paraben-free wax, doesn't burn you. It just warms really nicely and it's really strong and you can get it on my site for $6 a bar. Like, it's not enough to do that, right? Because that just sounds salesy and it's not valuable. Yes, you are. And there's a difference, right? There's a difference between giving people information and giving them information in a valuable way, right? And our point is to solve their problems by telling a story, and that adds value.
Yes.
Okay.
Can I just add, like, evoking emotion, right? Adds value when it makes you feel happy or feel joyful or brings you back to the time on a beach. When you can convey that through a story, that touches someone's soul, like that emotion is very sought after, right? When you can paint the picture of these emotions that these products are making you feel, while that may not be solving a tangible problem, like not making your car stink anymore, but it can solve the problem of little pops of joy here and there when you get in your car, or taking you back to a certain memory. That is solving a problem on a whole different, more complex, but yet very emotional level. And so don't underestimate like sharing how it makes you feel during that process as well.
And here's I think it's a really great example. You may not, but I think that if you need a good example of what this looks like, look at Super Bowl commercials. Okay, because when Super Bowl plays their commercials, not all of them, but some of them, they do a really good job at evoking emotion.
Getting you in the feels.
Yeah, getting you in the feels. I think there was like a Clydesdale commercial, literally for beer, right? And it was like, oh, like I choked
like you're
up.
crying.
Yeah, I'm like crying, and I'm like, I don't need beer, but here I am like emotional over this commercial, right? Because they are investing in your emotions, right? And it makes you think about the product. It makes you sometimes desire the product, right? And that is the freedom that you have as a Scentsy consultant, is to tell these stories. And the key is to tell your stories, right? And to have these products in your home and to be able to create stories and memories that you get to share with your customers. And we're going to talk a little bit about this in different ways. I guess I'll just explain to you guys what I'm going to do tomorrow. Okay. The new air purifier promotion that is going on this month, when we were at home office, and I believe the video is up on the news tab as well, but they showed the video of the air purifier and like the mom with the kids making a mess and the spaghetti's going all over the air purifier and they're doing a craft and there's googly eyes on the air purifier. And it's like this whole story of this mom with these kids and the mess is welcome, right? But there's this air purifier. There's this product that while mom is doing all these things with the kid and the mess is happening, and in the midst of this mess, you have this product that is cleaning the air in the background, that is durable enough to handle the kids throwing spaghetti at it, putting googly eyes on it, and stinky socks being thrown around. And it's this idea that definitely us as moms can relate to, but it's telling a story, right? And it's evoking these emotions that like we live in mess, and having mess is cool all of a sudden, right? Like we're not trying to have these Pinterest worthy homes anymore. We want to like have the mess, and they've inserted a product that is good with the mess of the outside mess, but is going to clean the air for you in the background and provide fragrance for your home. And since you did an incredible job of telling that story, evoking those emotions and getting the point across, right? And it's not that every single one of your posts has to be emotionally evoking and like grab the tissues every time you post something. Like, we don't need your customers like a sobbing mess. But it is important to recognize that when you are talking about the products, the wax and the warmers day after day, or talking about the licenses that you love, like Disney, like we have Disney stuff coming out. And it's like, if Beauty and the Beast evokes something for you emotionally because you grew up watching it and you watched it 16 times in one day and your mom had it on rewind and you used to watch it with your grandma, like those are the stories that you should be telling alongside these products. Because your customers, it is very possible that your customers are having these same things kind of come up, and it's like, wow, the connection that can happen when you are telling a story and people can connect with it because the same or a similar story is being told inside their own head, right? Or inside their own memory bank. And so getting people to, or telling stories that pull that out of people is so important here, right? And I know that it might feel like I've rabbit trailed on the storytelling part, but it is so important because within the storytelling comes the problem solving, right? And so, uh, so anyways, for the air purifier promotion, I'm going to create a similar storyline tomorrow as my kids are crafting up their teacher appreciation gifts. I'm going to create the same kind of story with my kids. I want to embrace this mess is welcome, and my kids having fun crafting, and the air purifier being a part of our lives in the midst of it all, right? Because I've been using the air purifier. My customers know this. I've been using the air purifier, but I want to tell a story with it. And so thinking about that as you're using products, and I would say do it with the products that you are using regularly. So it's not just like you pop up with a story about how like amazing this warmer is, but you ain't never talked about it before, like you want to make sure that you are staying true to who you are. But again, that's the freedom of this business, is being able to create these stories and to have the wide openness to say what you want about them, right? And to tap into your market, right? What is your community like, and help them solve problems. Okay. And so our products in general, you can do that with, like across the board, there are products that you can utilize, that you can tell stories about, all the things. But specifically what I wanted to kind of touch on a little bit was our cleaning and laundry products, because going back to this idea that you may be like, well, Scentsy's kind of a niche or a luxury brand because not everybody needs a wet wax and warmer or room spray or Scentsy Fresh. Like that's all kind of just extra for people. Sure, you may be right. However, I'm pretty sure everybody, for the most 99% of people that are using some kind of cleaning and laundry product. They are washing their clothes with something and they are cleaning their counters with something. Okay, so this is a market that that you can tap into because everybody's using it. It's not a luxury to wash your clothes for 99% of people that and that I know, that we know. Okay, so that's not a luxury. People are washing their clothes day in and day out. And if they're not using Scentsy, they're using a different product. So how do we solve their problem? How do we look at that and say, okay, what's the problem here? The problem is not that they're not using cleaning and laundry stuff, right? The problem is that they're not using Scentsy cleaning and laundry products. So how do we tell a story? How do we provide value so that they recognize the value that is these other products, right? And so that's where the information about washer whiffs being like the most amazing thing on the planet, that we start talking about, that we start honing in, right? That's when you post a picture of your kids smelling their shirts, right? That's when you post a picture of your dog laying on your nice clean clothes, or you pulling out a shirt from 2 weeks ago that you washed in washer whiffs and it still smells good, right? Because people want their clothes to still smell good. That's when you post a video or a reel or a picture of your kids helping you clean after dinner and there's mess everywhere, but your kids have the counter clean and it's not a harsh chemical ridden bleach product, but instead it's a super safe Scentsy counter clean that's not only going to get the job done, but it adds fragrance, and more than likely their favorite fragrance, right? And so it's evoking that memory, that connection, invoking the scent memory and connecting it, right? And so we're telling the story and we're adding the value of why are Scentsy products different than the things that people are already using, right? Specifically laundry, cleaning, that kind of thing. Why is it different? Also, with moms, kids have stuffed animals, right? So we have to tell the story about why Scentsy buddies are different, why they're unique, why they're valuable to have in people's. Dude, I hated stuffed animals.
Same.
Like hated
I was
them.
so over them.
I took one stuffed animal one time and I just like sliced it and like threw it away because I was like, I hate stuffed animals.
Triggered.
Yeah, like I'm like, these are the worst. They just take up space. And like, they're not cute. Now I'm the girl who's literally got a basket of stuffed animals in my room that are just mine. And my kids have like overflowing baskets with stuffed animals. Her kids have a hanging net full of stuffed animals. So it's like, why? Is that necessary? No. Is it a luxury? Maybe. But every single mom, their kids have stuffed animals, right? So how are we telling the story? It's probably despite their like best effort not to. How do we tell the story about these Scentsy buddies and the value that they add, the scent that they bring? Like, why are they so different? We're telling a story, and we can be problem solvers in the midst of it, right? And your story doesn't have to be like factual in nature, right? Sometimes the story is solving the problem in itself. Okay. And so a little plug here, Kendra Hall wrote a book. If you haven't read it, she was a speaker during our virtual SFR or World Tour.
Yeah, it was SFR.
And it's called, what is it called? It's called Stories That You Tell, Stories We Tell.
I don't know.
Okay, I read it, I swear to you. And it is so good. And it's about storytelling. Stories That Stick is the book. Highly, highly recommend it. If I can find mine and you want it, I will send it to you. Okay. So just let me know if I can find it. Stories That Stick by Kendra Hall. It is an incredible book about how to tell stories. She teaches you how to tell stories. And the reason Scentsy brought her into the Scentsy world is because it's so relevant.
Yep.
We actually talked about telling stories at Summit.
Yeah.
So anyways, you guys, it's just so important that we learn how to do that. If you feel like you're not good at it, the thing is all you have to do is tap into your memories, tap into your childlike wonder, right? Maybe it's not a story that's super connected to your heart, but maybe you can drum up a story. When we had the maraschino sugar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. When I smelled that bar, immediately a story that was not my own. Like I was not connected to this at all. But literally in my mind, I thought of a story from this scent, and I shared it with my customers, and my customers loved it. They literally bought the whip box. When it came back, they put it in their club.
So
like
I love that.
It was a total made up story, but I'm like, when I smell this bar, this is what I think of.
Yeah.
Right. And you can do that too.
I totally remember that.
Yeah. So it's like, you can do that too. It doesn't have to be memories you're pulling from your heart, but it can be like, okay, Beauty and the Beast. Maybe you grew up with it, but when I have kids one day, like, I can't wait to like show them this movie or
it can be as simple as like this coconut, what is it? Coconut sea salt. This coconut sea salt oil like paints a picture of me walking on the beach with my toes in the sand with the pina colada in my hand and the wind in my hair, like you can create that with your imagination and share that. And you are still evoking memories and emotions doing that, which you don't think is solving this huge problem. But when you think about giving someone else joy from a fragrance or a product, that is solving a problem.
Yeah. And when you're creating that connection, once those people are like, oh my gosh, I got to have that, they're going to solve their own problem. They're going to be like, oh shoot, like I want that memory, or I want that in my home, and it's going to make my house smell good.
Yep.
Like they're going to come up with that on their own. Sometimes it's just leading the horse, and that's why stories are so important.
Yep.
So, you go.
And then when you take it to the next level, which is our opportunity as consultants and being able to share that opportunity with our customers or with our network. Problem solving should be at the forefront there. That is an easy transition to solving the problem, because here's the thing. People need extra money, right? People want to go on vacations. People want to take their significant other or their sister or their mom on vacation. Okay. People want to get their Scentsy free and half off. Okay. People crave a fun community where you're getting together every Tuesday night, or having the coffee date, or getting the team together, or going to a customer's house and smelling things with them. Like, people crave that type of connection, and we have a solution to that. It may not be the solution for everyone, but it is a solution that we have the opportunity to share greatly. And then share in so many different ways. And I think once you understand how big of a problem solver this opportunity is, the more confident you are to share it. And that is our job. Our job when we're talking about expanding our business by bringing new consultants into our organization, that is our job, is to solve their problems using this business opportunity, right? That's where you really point your arrows out, and you are looking at, how can this business help other people? Okay. And there's so many different ways, right? I just listed a whole handful of them. Okay. But then it becomes our job to share that in meaningful, impactful, fun ways.
Various ways too. Like,
yes,
that's why you should be sharing everything.
Yes.
Like, even if you haven't been on vacation, right? Or even if you haven't made the 6-figure paycheck, you need to be sharing that you filled up your gas tank with it.
Yeah.
You need to be sharing that you bought your husband a coffee that morning.
And I would argue that those smaller things are even more impactful.
Yeah, for
because they seem maybe easier to obtain, right? Like, just from the very beginning, your first thought on joining Scentsy, it may not be to earn the vacation or to make 6 figures or quit your job or retire your spouse, right? That may be years down the road before someone realizes that. Okay. But it is the coffee trip, the Target trip, the making samples with a friend, right? The jumping on a Zoom and smiling and laughing and having fun. Those are the things that people crave. Okay. Especially now in a post-pandemic world where we are just still trying to figure out, like, what does this look like? Where do I fit in? How do I make this work? Like, we have a lot of solutions, and we can share that in a lot of different ways. And value is not linear. Value happens in many different ways. Problem solving happens in many different ways. It can be valuable by your time, right? It can be valuable by information. It can be valuable through, like, comedic relief. It can be valuable by solving a problem, right? So value comes in many different forms, especially with the business opportunity, because I would say maybe 70% of you guys did not join Scentsy solely to make a lot of money. Right? I would say 70% of you guys joined for free and half off Scentsy, or for the fun, or because it looks fun, right? And that is where we have such an opportunity to share that with our network, sharing it in many different ways. And I would say daily in some way. And it doesn't always have to be a join my team message. I would save the join my team message to maybe once a week or so, right? But you can still share the value and the problem solving with stories. The way that you live your Scentsy life, the way that it fits into your everyday life, the joy that you exude from your business, right? even as simple as smelling a wax bar and loving it so much that you want to make samples for your people, is attractive to someone who is looking to solve a problem of connection or looking for something fun or something else to do, which I know is both of the reasons why we joined.
Yep.
We did not join to make it a full-time income or full-time job or even to go on the vacations. We didn't even know about the vacations when we joined.
Nope.
Right? And so simple things like making samples, and that makes you smile, can evoke someone else to want to smile by making samples too. Okay. And so it's our job to find the fun in this, find the little things and the big things, and find ways that we can share that in a way that we are inviting other people to solve their own problems with the same opportunity that we have here.
Yep.
But then you have to take it further, and you do have to invite or offer or let people know that it is an option, right? And so I say that not every single post has to be a join my team post, and I would say they don't. But I do think it is important to invite people in to this opportunity, to let them know that this is something that they can do too. And whether that's one-on-one or in a broad statement, like in your stories or in a VIP post, I do think it's important that we don't stray away from the invitation as well. I think a lot of times people are afraid to offer it, and we don't need to be afraid because this is an amazing opportunity. Okay. We don't want to be shoving it down people's throats, but we do want to be living a lifestyle as a Scentsy consultant that it's attractive and we're solving problems, little or big, little and big. Okay. And so it can look a million different ways. I think that, I try to do it every day, whether it's, I love working from my bed a little bit, or you're coming over early on Monday with coffee and we're getting some work done, or I just closed a party order and got $75 in free Scentsy, or
I went and got my lashes done today.
yes, or we got tacos this evening, or that I pay all my bills with my Scentsy money, right? And anywhere and everywhere in between, we have the opportunity with our Scentsy business to be solving a whole bunch of different problems. And so it's important to recognize that that is something worth intentionally focusing on just as much as sharing the products and creating or sharing stories with those products, solving problems with those products. Over here on the business side of things, we have an extremely amazing opportunity to do that over here as well. Anything else? No?
Nope.
Okay.